Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Mommin'. I'm Megan.
And I'm Jessica.
And we hope you all had good holiday weeks, whatever holidays you celebrate or don't celebrate. And now we're coming up on New Year's.
Yeah, thank goodness.
I don't know. I think everyone has a very skewed reality of what's going to happen.
No, it's absolutely not going to change. Like, oh, it's 2021, things are going to change. But we don't want to live in 2020 anymore.
I don't know.
I mean, let's just move forward. I mean,
Yeah.
Things will progress as they're going to, but let's just get out of 2020.
It's true. And it's like, actually, like this sounds bad. And I've been excited for the holidays for our kids, but they felt really kind of weird. But this week I'm really excited because I actually like our New Year's tradition and it changes in basically 0 ways. And so it feels normal.
Yeah, you guys do Chinese food and
what
else do you do?
And Prosecco, and we just hang out at home, and we haven't gone out for New Year's in years. Well, and especially since we've had kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, it feels normal, and that's weird, but I'm excited because who doesn't like good takeout? So
yeah, I know. We're trying to decide where we're going to order from.
Ooh, what do you get? You don't get any. You just get different things, right? On New Year's, you don't have a same thing.
We don't have the same thing. I'm going to be honest. Before kids, we used to go out to eat from those like prefix dinner menus,
that's right.
which we loved.
Yeah.
But 2 of the past 3 years, we haven't been together, Sean and I, because I've been in Minnesota.
Oh yeah. But what did you do last year?
I don't know what we did. I have no idea. We probably didn't even stay up. We don't stay up late, so I don't know. I don't know what we did, but. Yeah, but on to the next, on to 2021.
Yeah.
Have you watched Bridgerton on Netflix yet?
No, what is that? I don't know.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's
really?
It's like this old-fashioned like debutante coming out season, and all these ladies are trying to find matches, and it's just like a soap opera, and it's so good.
Really? Do you think I would like it?
Everyone would like it. It's so good.
It doesn't sound like everyone would like it.
It's really good. Yeah, I mean, it's all about this, like, there's a gossip call. It's almost like Gossip Girl.
What year?
Oh, gosh, I don't even know. Probably like the 1800s.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's corsets involved. And so there's gossip columnists that nobody knows who it is writing about all the scandal that's going on. There's like unwed mothers and people trying to have matches. It's very intriguing.
Do you think there was a column like that then? I bet not. Like in real life?
I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't presume to know what happened.
See, this is why I really wish, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like people always think the years before us were all proper, but I don't think any of them were.
No, I mean, look at all the scandal back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I think you would like it. It's pretty, it's pretty soap opera-y, but it's dramatized. It's really good.
Would Patrick like it?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. I binged it solo. We did watch, we did HBO Max for a month so we could watch the new Wonder Woman.
Oh.
And it was not good. And I loved the first Wonder Woman. We love Marvel, we love DC. No, it was terrible. It was really, it was set in the 80s, but it was almost as if they were doing like the cinematography that existed in the 80s only. Like all the special effects were really bad. It was really bad.
Oh, yeah, I definitely won't watch it then because I don't like those anyway.
and Kristen Wiig was in it, which is not a bad thing, but she's like a dark character. It's very, I'm not a fan.
Interestingly, I saw someone post on Instagram. I think it was about watching Wonder Woman. Maybe it was.
Well, everyone's watching it right now and trashing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So maybe it was. But she said, I have to be honest. I don't like watching movies, especially darker movies. I already have enough in the real world. And I was like, you are my soulmate.
I mean, that's not untrue.
It's like basically word for word what I always say to Patrick. I'm like, I don't need to watch a movie to be reminded of sadness.
Well, that's very true. I mean, But it's not to be reminded. In one way, you could be happy that our life is not that.
I don't know. It doesn't make me feel good. And she also said that it's really hard for her to commit to watching a movie. And I was like,
That
yes,
is
I
your
don't know
soulmate.
why.
Oh, God, that is
Yeah,
your soulmate.
we should probably have her on the podcast.
Talk about what's wrong with the both of you. Anything else going on with you guys?
No. What about you?
No.
Are you going to stay up till midnight this year?
I guess it depends on what we're watching because we won't be doing anything else.
I think you should to really want to see 2021 from the start, or not. Maybe we just kind of glide
Maybe we
in.
just go to bed. I kind of like that movie, New Year's Eve.
I don't know that. Do I know that movie?
It's like that series, the Valentine's Day, then in New Year's Eve with all those different storylines and all those major celebrities.
I don't. What celebrities?
I think Jessica Biel's in the New Year's Eve one, and maybe Jamie Foxx.
It's not like that love. That series with like the love. What is that series that's so good on Netflix? Is it Netflix? And each episode's a love story. I don't think it's Holiday
You're talking
Babe.
about Modern Love?
Yeah, that's so good.
That's on Amazon. and it's based on the New York Times column Modern Love.
And it has nothing to do with New Year's.
It's not related to that at all. But I like
you have not watched Modern Love.
Modern Love is so good.
So good. Patrick and I think we stayed up super late watching because every episode's so good.
It's so good. I loved the adoption one. There was another one that I loved.
Mm-hmm. The adoption one, I think we watched that. I don't know if we had already adopted or if we were in the process.
I think you had already adopted.
But that one,
yes, you had.
Okay. Where is my brain?
I had the flu when I watched it.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And I remember when that was. Yep.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll introduce our guest, and we hope everyone has a great New Year's.
Yes. Be safe, be healthy, have fun.
So this week's guest is Lisa Druxman. She is the founder of FIT4Mom, which is the country's largest fitness program for moms. She's also a speaker, author, and a podcast host. Her most recent book is The Empowered Mama, which is basically a guide to empower moms to live their best lives. We had such a great conversation with her. It was really fun talking to someone who has lived through kind of the younger years and is in the teen years and getting her perspective on raising kiddos and learning about how she started her business, which is a really inspiring story.
Yeah, it was a great episode. She's really warm and lovely and just really inspiring as a mom, as an entrepreneur, and just a wonderful person.
So we hope you enjoyed this conversation. You can find us at momandpodcast.com, at Mom and Podcast on Instagram, or our Mom and Podcast Facebook group. If you enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you would leave a rating and review and share it with a friend. Thanks again for listening.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode of Mommin'.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, we're so excited to chat with you. So we always get started with having people tell us a little bit about themselves, where you live, what you do for work.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, it's crazy times. It depends on the day, but I am always mom to Jacob, who is now 19, and Rachel, who is 15. So mom to two teenagers is always crazy. And most people know me as the founding mom of a company called FIT4Mom, which is a fitness program for moms at every stage of motherhood. Started here in San Diego 19 years ago when my son was just a few months old.
Oh, wow.
So exciting. It's always so interesting to talk to someone who has older children. We both have, kids 4 and under. So it's always so nice to see people who are on the other end of it.
It happens in the blink of an eye. It happens faster than all the cliches say that it will go.
Oh, which makes me sad too.
Yeah.
Always.
For sure. So FIT4Mom is huge. You see it. I see it everywhere. We would love to hear about how that evolved. Like, was fitness always been your background, and was this a dream of yours? Or I've heard people talk about it prior to having children. I've heard people talk about it, and now that I have kids, I hear Stroller Strides and all that. So, or what prompted you to fill this void that was clearly there?
Yeah, fitness has been my background for decades now. For a long time before ever starting Stroller Strides, which was the original program. I was a Fit Pro going through college. It's a really great way to make extra money going through college. You get paid to work out. Yeah, it's great. And I was a manager at a large health club when I was pregnant, and I thought I was going to have to go back to work full time. And being a manager at a large health club is 60 to 80-hour work weeks. And I was just devastated at the thought of somebody else raising my baby. But I had to go back to work. We needed my income. So my maternity leave was super precious to me. I hung on to every minute of it. I didn't want to leave my baby. So I created a workout that I could do with him. And I called it Stroller Strides. I named it during a workout. I did stroller lunges and walks. And the only thing that was missing was other moms to do it with. So I decided to invite some moms from my neighborhood. And again, I called it Stroller Strides, but it really wasn't supposed to be a business. And apparently I wasn't the only one looking to get back in shape and having that community, because it did take off and I didn't have to go back to work. So that was our original program with Stroller Strides. And then as my kids grew up and that program grew up, the other programs grew up, and we added Fit for Baby, which is our prenatal program. We added Body Back, which has since transformed into a other program called Body Boost and Body Well, which is a very transformational program that is very inspirational and transformational. We have Strides 360. We have all different kinds of programs, like I said, for every age and stage of motherhood. And we're a franchise, so we have about 300 franchisees nationwide. So one of the things that I'm most proud of is that I was able to share what I experienced with a career that was supportive of motherhood with women across the country. And it wasn't just with other fit pros like myself, it was with women who realized their careers didn't match what they wanted it to be once they became moms.
Wow. So on your first maternity leave,
yes,
after you started working out, you never went back to your other job.
Never went back.
That is so impressive. Yeah. That's amazing.
That is amazing. Do you remember how many women showed up the first time when you announced it?
Oh, booming success. 4 moms. I'm being sarcastic. It was just 4 moms. But I used to do the news for the local media for fitness stories. And they called me and said, Lisa, will you do a story tomorrow morning? And I was on maternity leave. And really, they just needed a warm body. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to promote Stroller Strides like it's a business. And it was so not a business, lady, that they had to put my home cell phone and my home email on the green screen. And I promoted this grand opening class that I didn't even have any plans for, and didn't have a permit for or anything. And when I got home from the studio, there were 40 emails waiting for me. And it was crazy. And we had a ton of moms show up for that class, and we had 2 news crews show up. And I knew then that I was onto something. And I knew then that moms are looking to connect. And I have learned that it doesn't matter where you are in motherhood, and it doesn't matter where you are in the world, that moms are looking for a sense of community and connection. And so that is something that we all need. And so that was why it worked.
And that's so true.
Mm-hmm. It's that feeling of the isolation, especially with a new baby. I totally get why it took off so quickly.
That's why you guys are doing this podcast.
100%. Yep.
Yes. Especially during COVID, it felt like, oh my gosh, where's my community? I can't find it in the same places.
Absolutely.
I also really love that. I've heard so many success stories. I kind of hate to say it like that, but true, who it was like, yeah, I didn't have everything built yet. I just decided I'll figure it out as I go. And that's awesome. I love that you did that.
I used to write for Entrepreneur Magazine. We used to have a column just for mom entrepreneurs. And I got to interview the best of the best. And I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, almost 10 times out of 10, they never had it figured out. No one has it figured out. There is a little bit of just go for it. So you need to have some energy around leaving fear behind and being super passionate about why you're doing it, and just go for it. We don't have it all figured out. Just do it anyways.
I love that. Yeah, that's so scary, but yeah, if you have a passion for something, and for you, it was you found a way to stay home with your baby more, but also connect these women. I think that's so cool. Like, what a story.
Failure was not an option for me. The idea of having to stay in that job and have somebody else raise my baby was like not even an option for me. Like, I wanted to leave my work, and my husband was like, yeah, we can't afford for you to leave your work.
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's like, yeah, that'd be nice, but we live in San Diego. So
Right.
um, so some of our franchisees, like, it's just a little extra money for them, but for me that was not a little extra money. It was like, no, I needed to replace a 6-figure income, and so that's what I was going to do.
You made it happen. I love that you decided to take that opportunity too on the news to be like, we're just going to jump in. We're
Oh yeah.
do this. Oh, that's so great.
And when did it start evolving from your initial like local groups? Like, when were you like, okay, we're going to keep growing this? How did things evolve?
Well, I had zero intention of growing this into a nationwide business. Zero. Like, by the end of the first year, we had 12 locations here in San Diego. I had 1,000 moms participating, and I was golden. I had zero desire for anything else. I was like, this is awesome. But when you do business with moms, the good news is if they like it, they talk. The bad news is if they don't like it, they talk even more. So I will warn you that. Keep moms happy. But you have to realize this is before social media. This is before Facebook. But it was enough where women were saying, I'm doing this really cool program in San Diego, and telling their friend and sister and cousin about it. And I started getting emails from women all across the country who wanted to join or start, and within months. And so about a year into it, we decided, all right, you know what, let's see, does this work in hot places like Texas and Arizona? And does it work in cold places like New Jersey? And does it work in pretty places like Hawaii? Because I just wanted an excuse to be in Hawaii. So we sold 6 licenses to those places, and it worked. And we learned that we needed to make some adjustments, where we needed to create some agreements with malls so that they could be indoors, because in San Diego we can be outdoors year round. And it worked. And so it's a much longer story, but we ended up becoming a franchise, and it's been a rocket ship the entire way for 19 years.
Wow.
That's some serious growth.
Yeah. And months in to be getting inquiries from across the country, like you said, prior to the social media era. How insane. And you were running, I mean, you were like the manager of a fitness company, you said, but that's a lot different than getting like licenses. So did you get help, or were you just, again, baptism by fire? How were you managing it?
Both. I mean, every single aspect, I didn't know what I was doing, and every single aspect, I looked for help. You never know what's the path ahead of you, so you figure it out. We live in the most incredible time to be business owners and entrepreneurs. Like, because of the internet and Google and like access to the most, you can get coached by the best of the best now, like in anything. If you want to be a chef, a photographer, I mean, it doesn't matter what you want to be, you can literally get the best of the best in coaching. And so I needed to learn about franchising, like really boring, but that's what I needed to learn about. So I had to get franchise coaches. And so I've invested a lot in coaching and peer groups and all of that all along the way. And I believe very much, like, that's one of my highest pieces of recommendation to business owners is get coaches along the way. And you might not be able to afford the top coaches at the beginning, but you can afford something, or know what? I guarantee there's an online program you could do. Like, you got to learn, got to be learning.
That's such great advice.
Yeah, what was your back it sounds like your background was like journalism before
No,
this?
no, no, no. My background was psychology. My
Oh,
background, I was studying exercise adherence and behavior modification, weight control. So I was into fitness and eating. I thought I was going to get into counseling, and I was working in the fitness industry. I fell into the job in management. I didn't expect that, and had no idea I'd be a business owner. That was not the plan.
Wow.
wow. And you were also doing, I guess the health component was how you were doing things for like the local news and
Yes,
then
yeah. I
okay,
mean, I
wow,
still
wow.
love that aspect of it. Like, I still teach a day a week. I mean, I still love the coaching aspect of it and the health aspect of it. That's probably still my heart, even though I'm the CEO.
Oh,
Wow, that's
yeah, and
awesome.
that's so cool too, because you're directly connected with the people that are seeking out your services.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, good for
Is
you.
there like a premium for those classes? Like these ones are taught by the CEO.
Yeah,
Like, like who gets those
I
ones?
know.
That's
I,
awesome.
I don't know. I've kind of aged out of my business. Don't forget that I just turned 50 this week, and my clients are like 25. So
It's awesome. I
That's
love
so
it.
great, though. Wow. So, what sort of kept you motivated to keep growing it and to keep, I mean, because you could have just said to these women, like, oh, like we're across the country, like, no, I think we'll just keep it in California and they can start something if they want to. Did you just feel like this was compelled to do it?
no, just the opposite. In fact, I still today am almost upset with myself that we've barely scratched the surface. The programs that we've created are life changing. Like when I meet women across the country, they tell me that their entire lives have changed from our programs. The confidence that they have and who they are as moms. And so I believe so wholeheartedly that every single mom deserves to have this community and this mindset. We've barely scratched the surface. And so I'm mad at us. I feel like it's a disservice that we have not reached more moms. So yeah, that's what keeps us going. So I'm as motivated now, 19 years later, to reach more moms as I ever. I mean, we have a hashtag all the moms. Like, we really want to reach all the moms.
Oh, that's so
Wow.
great.
And on those lines with how things are now, it sounds like your workouts are often outside, but I'm sure there's some moms of newborns who are nervous to attend a workout right now. Probably not all. Have you had to change anything during this pandemic?
Oh my gosh. I mean, our entire world has been turned upside down in the fitness industry. So we've had to completely pivot. Our franchisees had to completely pivot. Within a matter of weeks, we helped them turn all of their classes virtual. So they're offering virtual classes. We launched a whole new program called Fit4Mom on Demand. So we now have prenatal classes and online classes. So yeah, any of your listeners can come try a free week of classes on Fit4Mom on Demand. So yeah, we're trying to find what works for people in this new world, because I don't see it going away anytime soon. And so I think I just think our world's going to change for a while. I don't think a lot of people are going to feel comfortable working out in person for a while. So I want to make sure that we've got a breadth of opportunities depending on what moms are looking for.
Yeah, I think that's so hard. I think like when I was a new mom, oh man, you just need those groups early on. So I mean, virtual it's what we have right now.
We'll take what we can get. Yeah. And good for you guys for, I mean, that quickly pivoting and learning how, I mean, it's a lot different to put on a fitness class virtually. Yeah.
Very
I
different.
can only
It's
imagine.
very different. I mean, my God bless my franchisees. I mean, just figuring out how to all of a sudden turn your living room into a film studio, and you've got your toddler running around and the dog barking, and it's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's so
And so
much.
the on demand, I assume it's exactly what it says. You can just take recorded classes anytime.
Yeah. So for our on-demand classes, you can take them anytime. And then for franchisees, theirs are all a little bit different, but most of those are live. And most of those you get to see the other moms in your community working out, which I think is really a big part of it. Is still feeling like it's hyper local, even when it's virtual.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I think that really makes a difference for some people to have that.
Oh, I love that you've managed to figure out how to do that for that. I mean, new moms in 2020 deserve a special award because it's hard enough, but this...
Isn't that the case? I mean, being a mom is hard enough, and pregnancy is hard enough and so isolating. I had a woman come up to me the other day. I was walking my dog and she was pregnant, and she's like, "You're that Fit for Mom lady." I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, I need to meet other pregnant moms. She's like, "This is my first pregnancy. I know nobody." And I was like, "Okay, like, let me help you find your community." Like, it's so hard. That's why I started it, because I understand that. I needed that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so true. I remember I had moved before. I mean, I knew some people, but I was the first one of my friends in the area to have a baby, and I didn't know anyone in our neighborhood, not a soul. And I remember I would go for walks when I was pregnant, and I'd see other women. I'm like, is it weird if I go up to them and be like, "Hey, so I'm about to have a baby. Can we be friends?" So having a place where it's already built in and you already have this common ground is so wonderful and so important. I just love that.
What would you say has been I mean, maybe that's it, but what is like the best part of starting this business for you and running this business for all these years?
Oh my God, the stories. I mean, it's funny. Everybody puts down social media, and I have my own, challenges with social media, but I also scroll through social media and see all of the amazing things that are happening at our locations across the country, and all of the relationships and the fun and the connections. And it's pretty amazing. It's, we believe, I mean, this is going to sound a little bit corny, but we really, really believe that healthy moms will raise healthy kids in a healthy world. And so we believe pretty powerfully in what we do. And that's the best part of what we do. It's awesome.
That is great. And I think that's right. It's just, it's the good cycles.
It's so true. I will, we have an exercise bike here, and my son, we got like a little kid one from him, like on Facebook Marketplace, and he'll be like, "Mommy, are we going to go ride the bike?" And then if I like stand up, it's a spin bike, he'll be like, "Mommy, I am too." And it like, sometimes I felt guilty for exercising and like just having him there. And now I'm like, no.
You're a healthy role model for them, and that's what they need.
Yeah.
Healthy, happy moms make healthy, happy kids.
It's true. And it's hard to remember. Moms are so bad at making time for themselves sometimes.
For sure. And did you, prior to COVID, did you travel to a lot of the different franchises and see in person?
Yeah, I mean, within balance. So don't forget, I started my company so I could be a mom first and foremost. So I always kept that travel in check, but there was certainly a certain amount of it. Funny enough, this year was supposed to be my highest travel year ever because my kids are older. And they no longer care if I'm around. So it was kind of ironic that I was like, had my highest year of travel that all got canceled.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. I know.
Just throw a wrench into everything. Yeah.
The best of plans. But yeah, I mean, my highlights are when I do get a chance to go visit our franchisees and our clients across the country. It's pretty amazing.
It's wonderful.
And you mentioned their stories. Is there, I don't know if you're able to share any, or if it feels like it's not your story to share, but are there any stories that you feel like are a story that really you remember and made you so happy that you started this?
God, honestly, I mean, it might sound silly, but there are so many stories. And we just had our first, this sounds crazy, but we just had our first Stroller Strider come that said, "I was a Stroller Strides baby." Like,
wow.
Yes.
That's so cool.
I love that.
She was, probably an older one, maybe 5 or something. And she's like, "I had such good memories in Stroller Strides, and I knew when I became a mom."
Wow, how amazing is that? That and showing you that yes, this is creating healthy kids because she has memories of it.
She has memories of it. I had a mom who was morbidly obese. And so the way Stroller Strides, that particular class is set up is that it's made as a stroller walking class where you do a body toning station, if you want to call it that. Like you'll do push-ups at a table, you walk or jog to the next station, might do squats or something, walk or jog. And this woman was morbidly obese, and so much so that she couldn't even walk to the stations on time. And I was just heartbroken thinking, oh my God, she's never going to come back. And I would love to have an impact on her life. But like, I also have this whole big class that I'm teaching. And I was able to catch up with her at the end. And I said, just come back. Like, don't worry about making it to the station. Just keep coming back. And she did just keep coming back. And 6 months later, I ran a 5K with her.
Wow.
I mean, it was a slow run, but I mean, like,
to go from not being able to walk to the station to a 5K.
Yeah. And I still know her, 17 years, 19 years later, and she's still a healthy person. Like her life was changed. Wow. So, yeah. So, I mean, if you have the opportunity to have an impact on one person's life, that's pretty great.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. I feel blessed.
That impacts her kid, like
absolutely.
It impacts everyone in that person's life. Oh, that's amazing. That's such a good story.
Wow. Yeah, the ripple effect, that's huge in itself.
That's one of our, we're a very values-based business. We read our values at the start of every meeting. And ripple is one of our values.
Oh, love that. Because it's true. Mm-hmm. And the two stories you just said identify or show that so clearly. Yeah. Wow.
You kind of mentioned that you have programs for every stage of parenthood. Are there programs where like, yep, your kids are like long gone out of the house, or maybe you never were a mom of kiddos? Do you have programs for people in those stages?
Well, I mean, our program called Body Boost or Body Well, you don't bring kids to it. So Body Boost is a high intensity interval training program, and Body Well is an 8-week coaching program, which includes behavior modification, cognitive training, and meditation and nutrition. So you don't have kids there. So it doesn't matter how old, it doesn't matter if you never had kids, but we're always speaking about motherhood. So if you're not we're very clear that that's our story. You know what I mean? So if you're not a mom, now there's lots of different ways to be a mom. So you can be an adoptive mom, you know what I mean? A surrogate mom, you can be a pet mom, I guess. But you can be a grandmom. So there's lots of different ways, but we are very clear that that's our lane and that's who we speak to.
Which is great. I mean, there's other workouts for other people. I was just
that's kind of how we feel. It's like there's something out there for everybody else. So like this is our lane.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we've talked about all the beautiful things about this business and how it started, but what would you say is one of the biggest challenges you've encountered?
By far, the biggest challenge has always been balancing work with motherhood, by far. And that is the biggest challenge for my franchisees. And again, I started this business so I could be a mom first and foremost. And then the business took off and I was all of a sudden running a national business. And I was not showing up as the mom I wanted to be. And I was living in a state of overwhelm. And I was not proud of who I was. And so I really put a line in the sand and I redesigned my life. And that is very much what my book, The Empowered Mama, is about. And I apologize for all the dogs and background noise, but
no problem.
This is real life going on behind me. I just redesigned my life, but I still work from home. So I really, that's a big part of what I help my franchisees with is how to achieve work-life win. I don't say balance because I don't believe in that, but how do you achieve a work-life win? Because that continues to be the biggest challenge and one of the hardest parts.
Yeah, thank you for that segue, by the way. You just
Yeah.
brought us right to where we were going. So we would love to hear more about your book.
So the book is called The Empowered Mama, and it's how to reclaim your time, your health, and yourself. And it is very much a workbook style book. And because moms tend to be overwhelmed, I highly suggest you take it a month at a time and just make it like a year process where you do just a little bit of the book at a time.
Oh, wow. Love that.
So, we're so good at working on work, but like, when do you get a chance to work on yourself and like check in on how are you doing on your life? So I always think that your big aha will never happen when you're busy. And so to me, the book is really a chance to just kind of check in on where are you off balance and where do you want to create some more space. And it's a way to kind of redesign your life so that you don't feel out of balance and to finally get you out of overwhelm. Every mom I speak to, when I say, how are you? The answer is always overwhelmed or crazy. Like, that is not how we should answer. Like, that is not how we should live our life. This is our one life. Like, I am so darn tired of hearing that. Like, that is a choice. And so if you're tired of answering that, do something different.
Wow, that is powerful and
Yeah,
true.
that might be the kick in the pants that I need along with a lot of other women. Because it's so easy to stay in overwhelmed because there's a million things as a mom, but yeah, it's hard to take time for yourself.
I mean, this might sound a little crazy, but I'm a CEO to a large company. I'm a mom to two teenagers, got two crazy dogs. My life is very full. I do not live in overwhelm. I love my life every single day, and I don't live for weekends, and I don't live for vacations.
Wow.
Anytime I feel myself living for the weekend, that really strikes a chord with me because I'm like, what is the point if I'm just living for the weekend? Like, that cannot be how I'm living my life, which is not currently, whatever. Life is really weird. But
Did you, like when you had young kids, did you feel that way also, that you felt like you weren't living in overwhelm, or was there sort of a tipping point for you?
Well, when I had don't forget, I started the company as soon as I became a mom. So
Right.
when I had young kids, I started in overwhelm. Like, I was drowning in motherhood and this new company all at the same time. It was just like, there was no separation for me. Motherhood and the company was all the same, and it was all one soupy mess. And so I had to get myself out of it and figure out how to create a new way to live in both.
when did you kind of make that choice? When were you like, oh gosh, I have to adjust how I'm doing this?
I think it was probably 7 or 8 years into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, wasn't right away for sure.
Wow.
It wasn't right away.
And what is, and maybe you've already answered it, but what
Mhm.
is the biggest piece of advice that you have for moms to take that first step?
Everything that I will tell you sounds too simple. All right. So, like, and the thing is, so I coach my team on this stuff every single week. And I'm like, I tease them. I'm like, I know you're not going to do it. I will tell you to do it, but you won't do it. Right. Like, it's almost like it sounds too simple, so you won't do it. I will tell you right now, I want you to pick 3 things to do a day. That's it. 3 things. What are the 3 most important things you need to do a day? You're going to get way more than 3 done, but what are the 3 most important things? And you reverse engineer it around that. What are the 3 things that you need to get done for your health and your wellness? Reverse engineer it around that. Most of us feel overwhelmed or out of balance because that's the last thing you put in, all right? Like, because you took care of everything else but yourself. So I want you to reverse engineer it and say, what are 3 things that you need to get in every single day so that you feel healthy? Maybe it's a certain amount of sleep. Maybe it's exercise. Maybe it's prayer. Maybe it's meditation. For all of us is different, all right? I need to move my body every single day. I need to meditate every day. I need you to make sure those 3 things happen every day. Maybe it's not perfect, but like a minimum, and then you build your day around it. That's my first most grounding thing. And then the thing is, like, When that happens, you want to know what falls off? Social media, watching a show on Netflix. Like whenever moms get so mad at me, whenever moms tell me they don't have time, I make them show me how much time they've spent on their phones.
True.
Tell me about what show you've binge watched on Netflix, because you have. And I mean, I'm not saying everybody, but like most have. And I do too. I do too. So I'm not saying, hey, I could tell you some really good shows I watched on Netflix. But put in what's most important to you first. And so if you're not sleep deprived, okay, so sleep deprived moms, don't listen. But if you are not sleep deprived, get up an hour before the rest of your family. And so for the last 15 years, as for a long time now, I've gotten up at 4:30 in the morning. I haven't since COVID. I have slept so much since COVID. But anyways, I get up at 4:30 in the morning, and that first hour is for me. And in that hour, I meditate, I journal, I exercise, I have my coffee. I've had an entire hour so that it is all for me, and I am ready to start my day. And it is game changer. Game changer.
That's such great advice. I mean, 100% not for the moms that are sleep deprived, like you said, but
no, don't start that yet.
Yeah, but I do. That is something I actually do. Is get up early, and it is the sweetest part, one of the sweetest parts of my day, because it's just quiet, and it's just no one's climbing on you or asking something of you.
It's so life-giving, like that I look forward, like as much as you go, I would never look forward to waking up at 4:30 in the morning. It's so life-giving that you will look forward to it. And even if you say I'm not a morning person, like, first of all, you will start going to sleep early if you start waking up at 4:30 in the morning. And maybe for you, it's 5:30, maybe it's 6:30. I don't know. Maybe your kids sleep later. I always had really early risers, so I had to wake up very early. Or maybe for you, it is nighttime. But when I speak to most people, nighttime, it's too easy just to turn on a TV and watch TV.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about it being a morning routine.
Yeah.
It's good advice.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. And I like the 3 things. It feels manageable. Yes. Most definitely.
Just like you presented the book, because I'm like, oh, another book, I don't know. But like, if you're telling me that I have a month to do each section, then I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
Instead of setting myself up for failure. I love that.
People always, the thing that people always want change to happen in this quantum leap, like massive change and a giant book. And I am all about very small baby steps every day. Like small steps will make massive change. They will add up. Just commit to it.
It's a good reminder too, because so often it feels like if we don't get that instant gratification, it's, well, what's the point in keeping doing this? It's not working, but we have to keep putting in the work. Yeah. So now if we can switch gears, we would love to we always like to ask our guests how they sort of started building their family and what that process was like for them. If they talked with their partner about having kids ahead of time, or if they knew how many they wanted to have.
I think so long ago, I think we really wanted to have 2 kids. We were definitely trying to have Jacob. It took a while. We were both working, so we were kind of distracted, and we weren't freaking out about that it was taking a while. But with Rachel, it was a lot harder. I did have an ectopic pregnancy, and that put me at quite a bit of risk, because it was an emergency where I had to have emergency surgery. And when they did that, they said, we have bad news for you. They said it blew out one of your tubes, and your other tube does not look like it's in good shape, which was probably why it took me so long to get pregnant in the first place. And so I had to have that tube removed. So Rachel ended up being an IVF baby. So she's our little miracle baby. So that's it for us. 2 kids. We never wanted to be outnumbered at Disneyland.
Smart. Very smart.
Our life feels very full, and we have so many friends with 3 and more, and I don't know how y'all do it. It's amazing because our life feels very full.
Oh, totally. What was that like? Because if you did IVF then, there wasn't like the social media support. Was it talked about much with your friends, or did you have a good support network?
I guess I did just because of Fit4Mom. Like I had such a deep mom network, so not necessarily specifically with IVF, but I had a very deep mom network with Fit4Mom.
That's great. Yeah. And I mean, I always ask people with older kids, like, what are your tips for people with teenagers?
Wow.
Or what's worked for you?
Okay, so my parenting advice for you when you have little ones that I wish that I did and I didn't is don't give in. Don't give which I didn't, because what happens is you basically just train them to whine, right? It's the same thing I'm doing with a puppy, right? You basically just don't give in, like stick with it. It's worth it. Stick with it. Don't give in. Let them be who they're going to be, because they're going to be who they're going to be, and have fun along the way. Like I said, it does go by faster than any cliche. So have as many experiences as you can with them. They will never remember any of the gifts you've given them, but they will for sure remember the experiences you've had with them. They remember zip lining. They remember the vacations. They remember going to a show, but you ask them what you got them for what Christmas, they will not remember it.
Was that hard? Did you do that when they were younger? Because I think that's what I prefer as the experience gifts, but it's so hard with my 4-year-old right now. He's obsessed with presents. I don't even know where it comes from. I don't even know how this became a thing, but it's here.
It's the world we live in, and the consumerism and the advertising that they see. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's even in the stores, the impulse buying, go Bed Bath and Beyond and all the things right at their little eye level. It's the world that they live in. So it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that that's what they won't remember it. So don't spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah.
Good. That is good. That's great advice. And you have a 19-year-old. So is he out of the house, or what? Because it's COVID too.
He was out of the house. He was at Washington State and then had to come back because of COVID. And so he's doing school online here. And it's real hard on him. My heart aches for these kids.
That's losing such an important and fundamental part of your life if you chose to go to college, right? Yeah, that's really hard.
I mean, we think he will go back for spring semester, which means he will have been home for almost a year of his college experience.
Wow. Yeah. That is, I mean, I don't know. Like, could you ask me like, oh, which year of college would you give up? Like, no, that's hard. I mean, yes, they will survive. Yes, this will teach them a lot, but man, it just sucks too.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
For sure. But one more year with you.
Yeah, that's right. And I we celebrated my birthday the other night, and I said, the blessings, like you wouldn't have been here for my birthday. Like, so
take the perks where you can.
Totally.
So if you have time, we always like to end with sort of quick rapid fire, just a few parenting questions.
Do it.
All right. So what is a goal that you have for you or your family?
Travel the world.
Oh, good one.
Have you been to any other countries, right, with your family?
With my family, no. We were supposed to go to Greece this summer for my 50th, but COVID stopped that. So we'll make it.
Yeah. Is that going to be first on your list of where to go?
Yeah. I just rebooked it for the following summer.
Good for you. Yeah.
I hope they let us back in.
Gosh, me too.
Yes, but hopefully, I mean, I keep saying that. I just saw something the other day that was like beginning of COVID. Oh, hopefully we can do that by September. And then like the next picture is like, oh, I don't know. I'm hoping to book this all-inclusive trip for 2025, but it feels a little risky. I'm like, yeah, that is how it feels right now. Like, can I count on a year from now? But hopefully by summer, right? Do you have a favorite family tradition?
That's a good question. You know, it's not one that we do anymore, but when the kids were little, we used to do something called Mommy Adventures. And really, it was a day that I just had nothing planned. But I turned it into something fun. And I would just put them in the car, and like the kids even came up with a theme song for it. And the truth was I drove freaking randomly to places. Right. And it was so spontaneous, and we would just go do fun things on a day, and it was a mommy adventure day. And like, I look back and it was like pretty fun, but like, if they only knew that it was really a day that I had just like nothing planned. And like the fact that we came up with like a theme song for it, and it's kind of cute.
That is so sweet. And you never had a destination in mind? You just drove?
Never. No. And it was something that I could never have done with my husband, because he's a very like planned person. Like if he only knew that like I would have been like, yeah, we went to this amusement park with no plan, like he would never have been able to do
that. Oh, that's amazing. Again, things that they're definitely remember.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun.
It was fun.
And what's the most surprising part of being a parent for you?
How little control you have.
Truth.
Yep. Yep. What's the best part about being a parent?
There is a part of your heart that you didn't even know existed.
It's true. Every answer you're given, I'm like, I feel it. Yeah. Do you have, or the hardest part of being a parent?
How little control you have.
I wondered if that would be it. Do you have one thing in particular that you like to do to unwind?
Yeah, multiple. That's a big part of my life. Meditation is a really big part of my life. And like my family knows that. And like, so if I feel that energy of like creeping up where I'm feeling stressed and stuff, I will go meditate. Like I literally, I know our listeners can't see, but I could turn the camera around so you can see, like I have a meditation spot set up in my office. And it's like, I have done it for enough years that I can get myself into a space very quickly to feel a release. But the other thing is taking a bath. Like as soon as I get into that water, like it's just like, Calgon, take me away. It really works.
I'm curious because I don't know if I always feel like a little overwhelmed at the thought of meditating, because I really think that I would not be good at it. Did it take time for you to like enjoy meditating?
Okay, so meditation is a practice. That's why they call it a practice. And there is never a time where you ever sit and have no thoughts. So like if you have a thought that that's what meditation is going to be, you will never like meditation. But if you go, no, what, I'm going to sit and whatever I'm doing is the right thing. Like I actually meditated this morning and I was thinking about all kinds of things today. And that was my meditation. And I didn't judge it or think like, oh, I did a poor job today. So if you want to have those kinds of thoughts that, and so there's so many amazing apps out there that can, introduce you to it and guide you through it. If I told you that I have something that could reduce your stress, could raise your immune system, could increase your happiness, could increase your focus, could help you sleep, would you take it? You'd say yes. Hello, it's meditation can do all of that. Mm-hmm. So why would you not do it? It has no side effects other than it takes time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
That makes me feel better. I thought I had to be absent of thought, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm going to be.
It's not possible. I've been meditating for 25 years, and I've never had a session where I don't think. It doesn't. Okay. It's not possible. That part's not possible. So let go of that.
Good advice.
Oh, well, Lisa, this has been so wonderful. We know you have to get going, but if you could just tell people where they could find you.
Yeah. So if you want to join anything at Fit for Mom, it's fit with the number 4. So FIT4MOM.com. I'm really easy to find. It's Lisa Druxman, lisadruxman.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Lisa Druxman. And certainly would love to share my Empowered Mama book. It's usually on sale on Amazon. Go for it.
Great.
Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, it's been wonderful chatting with you.
Thanks for having me. Good luck on your podcast.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks again for listening to this episode of Mommin'. We hope you enjoyed our conversation with Lisa as much as we did. Once again, you can find us at momandpodcast.com, at momandpodcast on Instagram, and our Mommin' Podcast Facebook group. If you enjoyed this episode, we would love it if you would leave a rating and review and share it with a friend. Have a great week. Bye.